I dreamt of a refugee girl from the battlefields of Syria. Her expression was calm, almost holy. I asked her, "What is your name?" She smiled and replied, "My name? My name is Bird." What a fitting name! For she seemed to soar above human suffering, war and loss. She looked human, yet nothing about her detachment was human. She carried the smile of Buddha, of Jesus, of saints and martyrs. Through this dream I understood, inner peace in the midst of suffering is not earthly. Somehow there was something familiar about it, and I wondered, where have I seen this contrast? Where have I seen this image? And actually there is in Gospel of Matthew, there is a scene where people are in a boat and there is a storm and there are waves everywhere, and Jesus sleeps. And people are getting very impatient and fearful and ask their prophet, "Are you not worried? We are going to die here." So yeah, on one side we have the calmness of the prophet Jesus, and on the other side we have the violence of the waves, of the storm, of impending death, possible death. It is the same situation. Or another example, in the past in India there were several little countries. So they were always having wars among them, and in such war, Buddha sat in the middle of the battlefield in meditating pose, awaiting the incoming army. When army came and saw him, they were puzzled by his peaceful expression. Again, we have this situation of the serenity in the midst of violence. Unfortunately, we are not Buddha and we are not Jesus. We don't imagine ourselves living in the middle of the battlefield, but reality is there is a violence going on around us. Unexpected letters, the taxes are going higher every year, danger of eviction, danger of losing your job, unexpected illnesses, some kind of loss, financial loss, romantic loss. There is always a threat looming on the horizon. Nowadays, we don't have arrows passing right next to our ears. We wake up every day intending to escape something. I hope I will pass this exam. I hope my interview will be successful. I hope my trip will be problem-free. If you would see a scene of a movie where there is fighting going on, and you would see a character in the middle of the battle trying to achieve inner peace, you would jump out of your seat and you say, "Get the hell out of there. Run, escape." The whole idea of finding peace or meditating in the midst of a battle is madness. And that's exactly what many spiritual practices are trying to teach you. If you meditate long enough, if you train yourself long enough, you would achieve inner peace. But I'm asking you, did you consider the source? I used to live in a small village for a short while, let's say 2 years. And in the middle of the village, it was the church. And it was an Orthodox church. Next to the church, it was the priest's house. And this house was equipped with everything needed for comfort, air conditioning, good cars, garden with a lot of fruit trees, a personal gardener. You don't need to worry about paying taxes. You don't need to worry about not having a roof over your head, or a danger of eviction, or, not being able to pay your mortgage. I'm not only referring to the Christian examples. I've seen also an example of a Buddhist temple. They're all jolly and merry, and they spend all day sometimes in prayer, going around gardening, cooking, being very cheerful. It is easy to preach the possibility of inner peace from such places. They do not struggle with common folk problems. During some festivals, people bring food on their silver trays to such temples and seek guidance for people who do not know how it is to live in their condition. My idea of inner peace was having a small house with a garden where I can plant my vegetables and, talk to the bees and study flowers, and maybe have a small job, work 3-4 hours a day, and enjoy my life. So about 10 years ago we bought a little house in Eastern Europe. The house was looking perfect. It had a neat garden on the left side. The neighbor had a huge garden with grapevine. So whenever I was opening the window, I was seeing the sunrise with rising above the grape leaves. Oh, how wonderful. On the other side, I had elderly people who were very kind, and now and then they were giving me organic eggs and a handful of sour cherries. And everything was just perfect. Now and then the old granny was giving me some precious seeds to plant in my wonderful vegetable garden. After a while, the neighbor with the grapevines decided he no longer wants to have grapevines, but he wants to make himself a workshop to build furniture. Overnight, everything was burned to the ground, and he started to build a shack. From there we started to hear sounds of machine and music. I couldn't even sit in my garden because there was, when people build furniture, they use all sorts of chemicals, paints and glues, and there is a strong smell, chemical smell coming from there. So when I was in my garden, I couldn't even sit because of the smell was so pungent. It was burning my nostrils, going down my throat. But the most annoying thing was the music. It was a gypsy music. Whenever I complained about the music, he came to the edge of my property and said, "It's not my fault that you don't like music." I had a quince tree on my property, and this quince tree was making fruit but dropping it early. Half of the crown of this tree was hanging on the property of the elderly couple. So one day the elderly woman came and said to me, "If you don't cut that tree immediately, I am going to go to the city council and make a formal complaint against you." And suddenly the good granny was gone. Suddenly I had enemies on both sides of my property. This is how my idea of the little heaven, of inner peace, of paradise, dissolved. It was not the only instance in my life when I tried to pursue inner peace, and I couldn't get it. I also noticed a similar pattern in the lives of the people around me. For example, my brother and my sister-in-law worked hard their whole life. They built themselves a nice villa. It had wonderful trees, bushes of roses in front of the entrance, a nice patio with a place to have jolly nights, merry nights with grill parties. But soon after everything was finished, my sister-in-law got ill with an incurable disease and soon passed away. Another example which I saw recently, it is the case of an Italian guy who wanted to live a peaceful Japanese lifestyle on his property in Italy. Italy would represent symbolically for him the outside world, the violent world, while his house, decorated in this calming Zen style, would represent the outside expression of his inner peace. He even had the pond with koi fish. He was spending his afternoons making teas. Recently there have been wildfires in Italy, and I saw a post of him on Instagram showing pictures of his burned down house. From all that peaceful heaven, he could only rescue his cat and his dog. Everything was burned down. And this is why I'm saying that I have noticed empirically that this life is not designed for us to achieve inner peace while we are living in it. So what I learned throughout my life is that inner peace is not achievable. It's an ideal portrayed by God. It is a mental state that cannot be achieved in a world that is set against it. What do we have then? I believe we have micro moments of peace that are given to us, and just because they are rare, that makes them more precious. I believe we should consider these moments of peace when nothing happens. We should consider these moments holy moments. That's why it is important to appreciate those moments where you see the steam rising above your coffee cup, or that smile in the corner of the mouth of your loved one, or a warm hug, or the leaves falling down as autumn approaches. So in my view, there is no time, no location, no relationship which can give you inner peace. The only thing we have are moments. So take care of your moments and make them holy. Make them your temple, your Mecca, your Eden. That's all from me right now. Let me know what you think in your comments. Please share some insights from your own journey to inner peace. And thank you for being part of my journey.